Being 5 months pregnant is amazing. It really is. You're growing a human, but also you're exhausted and your back hurts. And did I mention the constant need to pee? That's why when my husband offered to watch our very energetic toddler for a few hours, I jumped at the chance to escape, even if it was just to the drugstore. Hey, a pregnant lady needs her toiletries and maybe a giant bag of gummy bears. Don't judge. The moment I closed the front door behind me, it was like stepping into another dimension, a dimension of peace and quiet. No tiny humans yelling, "Mommy, watch me, watch me." No toys being thrown across the room, just the sweet sound of silence and the low hum of my car engine, which, now that I think about it, sounded suspiciously like a lullaby. I cranked up the radio. The drugstore was my oasis. The fluorescent lights, usually an irritant, seemed almost cheerful today. I browsed the aisles, taking my time. Shampoo? Sure, why not try a new scent? Lotion? Give me 3. I deserved this. I earned this. This was my reward for surviving another day of toddlerhood. I made my way to the checkout, my basket laden with goodies. There in the distance, I spotted it. The self-checkout. My haven, my sanctuary.
Can I help you with that? There was an older couple ahead of me, fumbling a bit with the touchscreen. They seemed a bit confused, trying to figure out how to scan their items and pay for them. The man was squinting at the screen, while the woman was pressing buttons, hoping one of them would work. A friendly store associate was helping them, which was nice to see. He patiently explained how to use the touchscreen, guiding them through each step. It was clear he had done this many times before, and his calm demeanor seemed to put the couple at ease. I patiently waited my turn, humming along to the pop song playing on the store's speakers. The music was a welcome distraction, helping to pass the time as I watched the couple slowly make their way through the self-checkout process. Just as the couple finished and shuffled away, a young man in a blue vest materialized beside me. He seemed to appear out of nowhere, ready to assist the next customer in line.
His name tag read Kevin in a rather enthusiastic font. The letters were bold and cheerful, almost as if they were trying to convey his eagerness to help. Now, I'm usually a very polite person. I always try to be courteous and respectful, especially to those who are just doing their job. But I was on a mission. I had a list of items I needed to get, and I wanted to get in and out of the store as quickly as possible. A mission for peace and quiet, remember? I was hoping to avoid any unnecessary interactions and just focus on my shopping. "Oh, I'm good," I said, flashing him a tired but hopefully polite smile. He didn't move. Kevin seemed determined to help, despite my polite refusal. He stood there, waiting for me to change my mind or ask for assistance. "Are you sure?" he asked, pointing towards the aisle where I was headed. "I can help you find what you're looking for." I glanced at my shopping list, considering his offer. It would be quicker if he helped me find the items, but I also wanted to maintain my independence. "All right," I said, relenting. "If you could help me find these items, that would be great." Kevin smiled and started walking with me, guiding me through the store. As we walked, we chatted about the store, the products, and even the music playing in the background. Kevin was knowledgeable and friendly, making the shopping experience more enjoyable than I had anticipated. With Kevin's help, I quickly found all the items on my list. He knew exactly where everything was, saving me a lot of time and effort. "Thank you so much," I said, genuinely grateful for his assistance. Kevin smiled and nodded, happy to have been of help. With my cart full and my mission accomplished, I headed towards the checkout, feeling a sense of satisfaction. Sometimes a little help can make all the difference. "Great," Kevin chirped, not leaving my side.
So, first you're going to want to scan your item.
He pointed to the scanner. I stared at him, then at the scanner, then back at him. Did I suddenly not know how to use a self-checkout? Had my brain turned to mush during pregnancy? Before I could respond, Kevin grabbed my bottle of shampoo, the one I'd carefully chosen for its calming lavender scent, and scanned it for me.
See, easy peasy.
I stared at him, my mouth slightly agape. This continued for the rest of my transaction. The line behind me grew longer, and I could feel the impatience radiating from the other customers. Each beep of the scanner seemed to echo louder, amplifying the tension in the air. I glanced around, noticing the varied expressions on people's faces. Some were scrolling through their phones, others were tapping their feet, and a few were even exchanging exasperated glances with each other. Kevin scanned each item, narrating every step as if I were an alien who had never encountered Earth technology before. "This is a barcode," he explained, holding up a can of soup. "When I scan it, the price will appear on the screen." I nodded politely, trying to hide my growing frustration. It felt like I was trapped in a never-ending tutorial for a task I had done countless times before.
Now, you're going to want to put the item in the bagging area. Make sure it's placed correctly, or the machine will alert us. Make sure you don't forget your coupons, credit or debit. Kevin's voice was cheerful, almost too cheerful, as if he were hosting a game show rather than working a checkout line.
He asked, pointing at the card reader. I wanted to scream or laugh. The absurdity of the situation was almost too much to handle. Here I was, a grown adult, being guided through a process I had mastered years ago, or maybe do both at the same time. The other customers were starting to notice the holdup, and I could feel their eyes boring into my back. I could almost hear their thoughts. Why is this taking so long? What's the holdup? Can't she just hurry up? But I took a deep breath, reminding myself that it was probably just a new store policy. Maybe they had received complaints about the self-checkout process being too confusing, and this was their way of ensuring everyone understood it. Or perhaps Kevin was new and still learning the ropes, and this was his way of making sure he didn't miss any steps. Maybe they were worried about shoplifting? With all the new security measures in place, it wouldn't be surprising if they wanted to make sure every item was accounted for. I glanced at the security cameras, wondering if someone was watching us right now, evaluating Kevin's performance. Or maybe Kevin was just really enthusiastic about his job. His dedication was admirable, even if it was a bit over the top. As he handed me my receipt, he gave me a big smile and said, "Thank you for shopping with us. Have a great day." I managed a weak smile in return, grateful that the ordeal was finally over. As I walked out of the store, I couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Sometimes even the most mundane tasks can turn into unforgettable experiences. By the time I left the store, my quiet, peaceful shopping experience had morphed into something out of a sitcom. I wasn't sure if I should be annoyed or amused. Was it me? Was I giving off some kind of help me, I'm helpless vibe? I mean, I was pregnant, but I could still operate basic machinery, right? Section 8. The Escape Plan. A few days later, I needed to pick up a prescription. My usual pharmacy was closed, so I found myself at another location of the same drugstore chain. As I approached the self-checkout, my heart started to race. Would there be another Kevin? Would I be subjected to another round of overly enthusiastic assistance? I steeled myself, took a deep breath, and started scanning my items. Section 9. Freedom and coupons? To my surprise, no one appeared. The store was eerily quiet, almost as if it had been abandoned. The usual hustle and bustle of shoppers and employees was absent, leaving me alone with my thoughts and my cart full of groceries. I scanned my items in peace. Each beep of the scanner felt like a small victory. I bagged them myself, carefully placing each item in the reusable bags I had brought from home. There was a certain satisfaction in doing it all on my own, without the need for assistance or the pressure of someone waiting behind me. I even managed to decline the offer for a store credit card without any assistance. It was glorious. The cashier's automated voice asked if I wanted to apply, and with a simple press of a button, I declined. No awkward conversation, no sales pitch, just a straightforward, "No thank you." As I finished up my transaction, a thought occurred to me. This newfound freedom at the self-checkout was liberating, but it also made me reflect on the human interactions I was missing. The friendly banter with the cashier, the occasional help with bagging, and even the small talk about the weather or the latest store promotions. Maybe Kevin wasn't so bad after all. Kevin, the ever-helpful store employee who always seemed to be around when I needed assistance. He was a constant presence, always ready with a smile and a helping hand. In a way, he was the embodiment of good customer service. Maybe he was just a beacon of customer service in a world that had forgotten how to help. In an age where automation and self-service were becoming the norm, Kevin stood out as a reminder of the human touch. His willingness to assist, his patience, and his friendly demeanor were qualities that were becoming increasingly rare. Or maybe, just maybe, he'd been sent by the universe to teach me patience. Patience in waiting for help, patience in dealing with the occasional hiccup at the self-checkout, and patience in appreciating the small moments of human connection. I chuckled to myself as I printed my receipt. The machine whirred and spat out the long strip of paper, a tangible reminder of my successful solo shopping trip. It felt like a small triumph, a testament to my ability to navigate the modern world of grocery shopping. At least he hadn't made me miss out on those coupons. The little slips of paper that promised discounts on future purchases were like a reward for my efforts. I carefully tore them off and tucked them into my wallet, already planning my next shopping trip and the savings I would enjoy. As I walked out of the store, bags in hand, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had navigated the self-checkout, managed my own bags, and even reflected on the value of human interaction. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. And as I headed to my car, I couldn't help but smile, knowing that I had embraced both freedom and the joy of coupons. Section 10. A different store, a different story. The next week, I found myself back at my usual drugstore. I needed more gummy bears. Don't judge. As I approached the self-checkout, I saw him, Kevin. He was helping an elderly gentleman with his purchases, and for a moment, our eyes met. I braced myself for the onslaught of helpfulness, but to my surprise, he just smiled and gave me a knowing nod. We both understood. Some customers needed help, and some just needed to be left alone with their gummy bears. Section 11. The moral of the checkout line. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes those surprises come in the form of overly helpful store associates. Sometimes they come in the form of pregnancy cravings, and sometimes, just sometimes, those surprises teach you a little something about yourself, or at least they give you a funny story to tell. Either way, I figured, as long as I had my gummy bears, everything would be all right.